President Biden memorialized all the lives lost to the coronavirus pandemic on Thursday. More than 530,000 people have died. More than 29 million total cases have been confirmed. But better days are on the way. Experts say the worst of this fight may already be behind us as the U.S. speeds up vaccinations. More than 10% of the population is now fully vaccinated, and more than 64 million people have received at least one dose. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Uzma Syed joins me now. Dr. Syed, good to have you, and thank you for all that you do. So in President Biden's primetime address, he said beating the virus is a complex process. At this point, what are some of the biggest hurdles that we still face?
Thanks so much, Lana, for having me. So absolutely, we've made some remarkable progress. We're vaccinating about 2 million people per day. It's estimated that 1 in 4 adults has gotten one shot at least. And we're really, setting new targets every day. We just have to remember that vaccine distribution, allocation, distribution, and administration is a complex initiative. And although we're making a lot of progress, we have to remember that these things do take time, and we still have a lot of virus that's in the community out there. And so we have to remember that we have to make sure that there's equitable distribution and allocation, and that we are able to really vaccinate as many people as we can. And we are getting better and better at this every single day.
Well, you heard us just discussing President Biden's new instructions to states that they are able to provide vaccines to all American adults eligible for a vaccine by the 1st of May. If that's the case, when might we reach herd immunity?
Well, that was another great point that he made, and it's really good to have these checkpoints and to have these goals, because it really, lets us move ahead in this pandemic. And although he did mention May 1st, it's really important to remember that it's still not going to be like a light switch. It's not going to be that magically on May 1st every single American will be vaccinated and that's it. We've reached herd immunity and it's the end of the pandemic. People, although that will be eligible, they still will take some time to schedule the appointments, to get the vaccines. So we have to really take it one day at a time. We are making progress. We do have a good amount of the population that's been vaccinated, but we have a long way to go. So as we ramp up these vaccinations and get more and more vaccines that are available to Americans and more shots in arms, we will be every day a step closer to really reaching that herd immunity.
Important for us not to think of it as a light switch, because I know the desire is there to just turn the corner and leave this in the rearview mirror. Dr. Syed, in this 1 year, the U.S. has been able to approve and distribute not 1, but 3 different coronavirus vaccines. How significant is this?
This is a huge milestone. I mean, we have seen such breakthrough and advancements in science, and really, all of our efforts have really produced these amazing vaccines, and now we are starting to save lives. And that was really the end point. It's been a very long year. This pandemic has cost us lives and livelihoods to all Americans and to people throughout the globe. And it's amazing that we are starting to vaccinate more and more people, but we have to remember that globally, there are low and middle income countries out there, 85 of which are not slotted to receive vaccines till 2023. So we have to remember that not only do we need equitable vaccine allocation nationally, but we also need that globally as well.
Important point that that vaccines are needed because the virus doesn't know borders in the same way that you and I may conceive of them. So just a few months ago, especially as we're thinking back on this year in retrospective, there were so many hospitals across the United States that were nearing a breaking point. How are things on the front lines today?
Things are significantly better, which is great, for all of Americans. The more lives that we save, the better we are in this pandemic, and that's ultimately what we want to do. And as we ramp up the vaccinations, we are really saving lives. But we have to remember that there's still a good amount of virus that's out there in the community, and that's why we can't really take our foot off the brake just yet. We are doing really well. We're making so many targets, that we're reaching for getting these vaccines into arms. But we have to remember that we still have to stay stick to our infection prevention measures until we have enough of the people vaccinated in our country so that we can really reach that herd immunity and so we can continue to save more lives. So although the numbers are much better in the hospitals, there's still a significant amount of COVID that's out there, and we still have a good amount of people that are unfortunately sick in our hospitals and are succumbing to this illness. And so whatever we can do to really hang in there just a little bit longer, it's the home stretch now.
The home stretch, I like that. Dr. Uzma Syed, thank you.
Thank you.